Hi, I'm Tom, and this is a Diabotical match review. Today, Baksteen versus Karwik. We've seen Karwik before. Really explosive player, loves to hit his shots. Really strong pincer. Baksteen, classic Quake Live name from the later Quake Live era. Maybe never really got his chance to shine to his fullest potential in Quake Live, but an extremely strong player, and I haven't seen him play Diabotical before at all, I don't think, so I'm keen to see how he transitions over. And we're here on Raya, a map that we haven't seen on this channel before, so I'm going to have a lot to talk about in this video. I think this is a really fascinating map, and we're going to watch Baksteen off the start. This is a server replay, so we can change point of view. Very, very exciting. Baksteen, red armor spawn, and he's going to go straight for this pincer and straight for this conflict at the blue armor. If you get good first rockets, you can pick up that frag really cleanly. Baksteen's taking a little bit too much damage, and it leaves him so weak. I don't know if he has time to stack back up before this first red. See, in theory, he should have an advantage from the pincer, right? If he can hit a pincer or two before the red, but he doesn't have time to get there. He doesn't take those shards because that would make a sound cue, and I like this position. He can't push too much further up forward. He has to assume that Karwik has the shaft and would just, push through that little corridor, demolish him in seconds. And the problem as well for Baksteen actually going for that shot onto red, is that he's now too late for Mega. He had to go and get that 50 HP. He didn't have time to do everything there. He prioritized damaging red. He didn't hit any damage, and now he's in a scary place. He looks for the exit trap, and Karwik, not one to roll over in a fight. He just pushes through. Great play by Karwik, great job to stabilize. You never want to give up that first frag in the first few seconds, but Karwik has done everything perfectly since. I like looking for the teleporter exit here. Baksteen will go down, but he takes a chunk of Karwik with him, and now, again, Mega's going to be coming. Baksteen doesn't have anything to be over near it. Great position there for Karwik, completely catches Baksteen off guard. The pressure for Karwik here is insane. Let's swap over onto Karwik's point of view. Let's swap over onto Karwik's point. There we go. Okay, so Baksteen snuck his way onto the Mega there. It looks like our stack indicators at the top of the screen have broken, which is very unfortunate. So Baksteen steals his way onto Mega, and depending on who gets over to this red first. See, this is always interesting on this map, right? Because Baksteen, in theory, can get to red position first, but Karwik gets through this teleporter, and getting through that teleporter is powerful. So Baksteen, Mega, blue armor, versus monster armor stack on Karwik. And Karwik has time to get in towards Mega. The teleporter is going to be the key thing, and Baksteen has positioned himself perfectly around it. Rather than just sitting up the top and waiting for Karwik to come through, he's actually cut Karwik off from even coming through to the top of the map. If you hit that damage before your opponent gets through the teleporter, then get through the teleporter yourself, your opponent knows that there's going to be a rocket waiting there for them. It really changes the whole thing, but Karwik slips through first, and then suddenly that logic applies to Baksteen. Oh man. Okay, so Karwik, someone put a banana peel on Mega. Baksteen flying through that teleporter, flying through the air. Very unfortunate for Karwik. We're going to stay on Karwik as he respawns onto red. Baksteen so quick into the room, but of course the cost of moving quickly is that you move predictably, and Karwik cleans that up. Man, what a crazy start to this map. I seriously, getting knocked off of that Mega is nuts. Baksteen's movement there was really, really strong. Red and Mega are going to be fairly close together in the next rotation. If Karwik hadn't have taken that pincer, he could maybe think about setting up, but instead he just has to try and hide and survive, and Baksteen is on the hunt. And I think we have to swap point of view again. We have to... There it is. I think it swaps through all the spectator points of view as well. Red, gonna go the way of Karwik there, I think. Man, these having a wrong stack indicator, I think, is more confusing than not having a stack indicator. These trades, again, I feel like these trades are going to come out better for Baksteen. Karwik is going to back away onto position on the red, but Baksteen just has the stack advantage. In comes the dive. Karwik not even able to get a pincer off into the dive. Huge play by Baksteen, right? Having the confidence to dive into your opponent is always risky. That angle is actually pretty open. Even a player with a big disadvantage can get a lot of damage as you dive onto them. And now Baksteen has time to cycle everything. He's gonna fly around into red position here, not before hitting a pincer first. And again, now he can just dive in. He's not even gonna, he's gonna look for Karwik before the red. Of course, what you want to do, you want to take the fight before the big item, so you have an item to fall back onto. And Baksteen, this is the trap of the century if it pays off, but of course Karwik you know, he's not going to be milling around in weak positions. He's thinking about this red. Baksteen comes out for the spawn frag. This is beautiful. If you can pick your opponent up diving for the rocket, and they're almost always going to dive for rocket, right? Like, they want that rocket launcher. He's given up red, but he's got a 2 frag lead now, and as long as he keeps his opponent away from the guns, this is a huge advantage. So his opponent got the pincer. So if you deny the pincer there, it's massive, right? Because you control the rocket and the pincer, and you've traded off red for 2 frags. Like, it puts you a long way ahead. Your opponent isn't going to be able to make anything of the red. Giving Karwik the pincer means that you need that opening shot, and Baksteen delivers with it. Really strong pincering from Baksteen. I mean, look, this isn't a comfortable position for him. He doesn't want to take too much damage, but he does rotate a lot faster onto this side of the map. Actually dropping down too before Mega. Huge. So confident here. Karwik can't poke out, right? And you can hear Karwik screaming. Baksteen knows, you know, there's blood in the water. He could rocket jump here. He's just going to come through teleporter. He knows that Karwik can't be there. So he's free to basically just move however the hell he wants right now as he tries to chase this down. And look at how many entrances Baksteen's getting where Karwik just isn't facing the right direction, right? Like, Baksteen is inside Karwik's head at this point. He knows how he wants to move. He's looking for these beautiful traps. Karwik thinks he can get away. Baksteen's movement is phenomenal. Again, like, that's the 3rd or 4th time this map that Baksteen's movement has just been so clean, so powerful. Karwik actually pushing all the way into that room. He's going to collect pincer while that Mega's taken. Baksteen coming back in. I mean, Karwik just can't fight there, right? Like, it's not worth leaving yourself fraggable for a chance at contesting that blue armor. I guess you do have to ask what you get. Otherwise, Karwik thought that was going to be his moment. He thought he was going to clutch it all out, but instead, you know, again, it's the situation where Baksteen fights and then has an item to fall back on, and so now, you know, you're in this death grip. Baksteen has time to get in and deny this blue. Karwik needs to be a bit smarter than just sitting on these items waiting for them to come. Baksteen, he's getting a lot of opening damage onto Karwik, just because Karwik's in the most predictable place before the item. Karwik comes in, tries to push Baksteen away with a shaft, isn't in there early enough. I like the idea, and that's definitely a position where even from behind, you can end up getting ahead really easily. Baksteen needs to be careful. Again, I love the respect from Baksteen. He doesn't even try and get close to fight that. He's going to get himself just outside of a pincerable threshold, but going to give away Mega in order to play for red. And it looks like Karwik more interested in this red as well. Ooh. Okay, so that's interesting as well. Baksteen, like, it feels like Karwik can actually do a lot to chase Baksteen away from both items there, and that's probably the best Karwik could hope for with how that ended up playing out. I don't know if I like Karwik staying in here. I don't know if Karwik actually collected that red or not. It looks like maybe he didn't. Is red up? Red is not up. But red's going to be coming up soon, right? So Baksteen actually wastes a lot of time in that room as well, which is critical for him respawning onto that red. But yeah, the passageway for that red exit, right? Like, down the stairs towards Mega, you slip away, you can go through teleporter and end up on Mega, but then your opponent will always be able to have time to get a good shot onto you while you jump for it. It's an interesting piece of geometry. I can't think of any other map that quite has that dynamic, especially then when you add in the teleporter at the red as well. This map, I think it's got a really good place in the rotation at the moment. I think it's actually really easy to learn as well, which is a huge plus. Completely uncontested Mega there, while Karwik collects the red. Oh, Baksteen doesn't actually get a lot of damage with that shaft. He's got to be careful. And I don't know if going through the teleporter there was the right decision. I think he realized that he was probably just going to die, and he went for the damage bomb on the way out. Red is going to be up first. Great position there by Karwik. Unfortunate he can't hit the pincer. That would have opened up a frac. So Karwik doing the right thing, but not able to capitalize. Karwik playing for Mega, playing for red. Gonna give Mega over to Baksteen there. And Baksteen, he really likes this position looking onto red from the stairs. I think it's the most terrifying position on the map. There are just so many ways you can get fragged. And yeah, I think it's very telling that Baksteen takes a few steps back and just gets into that doorway, right? It goes from a corner into a position where you have a lot of flexibility to run away. Baksteen takes his pincer. Happy with the drive-by. The slow field is so effective there. I mean, the slow field plus smoke, you know, you never know what's going to happen, but Karwik is the one trying to push through it. Baksteen cleaning up everything with the damage. He had a tough decision to make there. Either try and just dive the Mega and hope that Karwik doesn't peek around for that shot because, you know, he's too weak or whatever, or play for the armor, try and survive, but risk Karwik coming through with that pincer. Karwik, again, he has a good opportunity right now, right? Nothing up on the map. Pincers are everything here. The position Baksteen's in right now is the strongest position on the map. When you're out of control, when you don't know where your opponent's going to be, you just have the most options to run away. You've got an LG behind you, you've got a 50 HP behind you. So generally the top of these stairs is where you want to see the out of control player standing. Baksteen goes for the big pin, doesn't really connect with much. Red is going to come up for him, and Karwik won't have time to get in. That's a really cool angle. You can really get some shots, you know, all the way up onto that red platform from down the stairs. And Karwik finally winning some of these pincer trades. That's going to be perfect for him. And this time Karwik catches Baksteen diving onto the armor. I mean, the fact that Baksteen gets away alive here, like, it doesn't amount to anything, but that can actually be, you know, like if he gets a grenade or two on the way out, that can be the difference. Oh, Karwik. You know, sometimes Karwik, he just goes that little bit too far. I think you could have happily just farmed Baksteen for damage there. You could have let him get Mega. You were in a good position. You know, you could have hit shots. The rocket jump was so unnecessary. And now that you've taken that pincer, you know, it really invites just more and more pressure from Baksteen. What I love about that as well from Baksteen, right? He stood back, he waited until he knew the item was up, and he knew Karwik was moving for it. So he's not just peeking, he's peeking based on the direction he knows Karwik is looking. And that makes all the difference, right? It's just such a classy touch, and it's really hard to do well, but you can tell really experienced players when they do things like that. Alright, we gotta watch Karwik. Huge chase down for the lead here. He's just going to rush through to this red. I don't think there's any real contest he needs to be scared of right now. Alright, and with this red, it's time to hunt. You know, he really wants to make sure that Baksteen doesn't get too comfortable. He doesn't have any opportunities to cycle these blue armors too much. Unfortunate to miss the jump across there for Karwik. You know, again, you want to cut your opponent off from the blues and the resources on the, I guess, like, weaker side of the map or the mega side of the map. I don't know if I necessarily call it weaker. Again, I don't know if I necessarily say this map has clear sides either. Baksteen, beautiful play, sets up nice and early on that Mega, knew he had time to do so, and just shuts Karwik out, right? One of the great uses of Weebles on this map, and on maps in general, it's when a player can use it, can just like preemptively shut down a situation. Really interesting geometry here. Karwik has a lot of options for how he plays, you know, CSGO. Great rocket from Baksteen, right? You can see that the slow field zoned Karwik into a certain spot, and then the next rocket was exactly where Karwik started to move to. Baksteen hasn't gotten awesome damage here, but he's done pretty well, and, well, Karwik, he's not as stacked as he could be, and Baksteen has the plan to go and get Mega afterwards. The rails keep trading. I think... Oh, and Baksteen gets into Golden Frag here too. I think Karwik comes away from this a little bit stronger. And now we're going to play this game again. Red's coming. Baksteen's surely going to come with some pressure. Baksteen actually holds on to everything he has. Let's check how much stack Baksteen has. Let's watch the man with Golden Frag. Oh. Perfect read there onto Karwik. You know, he knows Karwik really can't get around this corner. Baksteen goes full Neo and narrowly dodges the rocket. Karwik can't be at this blue. Baksteen, he could even potentially go low there and try and cut Karwik off. He's going to come around through the teleporter. Yeah, so there, surely this is the frag. Surely. Karwik can't get away from this. Baksteen even chases up the teleporter. That's a really huge risk. Maybe just for the sound cue to bait Karwik down, and just as quickly as that frag comes out, we're kicked back to the menu. What an anticlimax. But holy crap, I love so many things that both players did in that game, but especially Baksteen. If you want to learn this map, That's actually a really good one to study. I really loved watching those guys fight around the red armor. I think that room is just so interesting. It has such strange geometry. The teleporter. Well, in general, I don't like teleporters near items, but I think they get away with it on Raya because it just has interesting dynamics. Lots of interesting situations around the Mega. I think Baksteen just had more of a plan there, right? He knew how he was going to back away and get Mega. He knew how he was going to pressure Karwik in the next situation. Karwik, I think, is much more of an intuition player. He knows Mega's coming, and he just freaking rocket jumps for it and sees what happens. And I love that. So really good game, 2 great players, and yeah, exciting to see a server-side demo where we can jump around and stuff as well. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. I've recently launched a website, gaming.tommarks.xyz, where you can learn about me, view my event and video schedule, and I've also set up a donation link for people who want to support the show financially. As always, like and subscribe. There's going to be more videos like this, so watch this space, and I'll see you next time.